Godfrey Woke, said this in an interview with our correspondent Soibi Oruwari. He assured that the Commission will ensure the council election is not exposed to any legal challenges.
We are going to use the voter register we have because if it pass the next 1 month or 2 months, it means that we are not going to use it again because INEC have said to do another review of voter register. But we are still working with the former voter register we have. But if it pass more than 2 months now, when the new voter register is going on, it means that we have to wait until the new voter register is being concluded. And I assure you that as long as this present register is concerned, we are bound to do the best. And we are going to give a very good election that people will now say, they didn't know it's going to happen. They have responsibility now. It's the duty of the parties now to say, okay, we are ready, we are not ready.
Professor Woke also outlined steps being taken by the Commission to monitor political parties' primaries scheduled for this Saturday.
Primary is coming up on tomorrow. The Commission will meet with their staffs, the electoral officers, which are electoral officers and AGAs. In fact, we're meeting with them tomorrow. So I will now mark out the strategies so that we need to know where the primary will hold. The Commission is doing a lot of things to see that primary is fully monitored, devoid of anything. So we also tell them that because of the time factor we are watching now, because we need to make sure that any attempt to derail from these particular factors, it means that the election will have problems. The Commission is doing work with the chairman or everybody putting to see that things move according to the timetable.
Recall that the retired Justice Adolphus Enebeli led 6th Commission had in March this year said the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, released the updated registered voters of Rivers State and the list of current political parties to the Commission. In a statement, the 6th Commission said the two important documents were released to RISIEC through a letter with reference numbers INEC/RV/S/VR/494/155. In the meantime, the spokesperson of the Emeka Beke-led APC in the state, Darlington Wujum, said any attempt by the current commission to rely on the registered voters would be a gross violation of the judgment of the Supreme Court.
And that judgment was abundantly clear. That judgment cited the fact that there was an infraction of Section 38 of the Electoral Act. If that is so, it means that the vision or review or update of the voters register must take place before any electoral exercise can be said to have legally taken place in Rivers State. That no revision of voters register has taken place in Rivers State.
But a Lagos-based lawyer, Libros Ashoma, said RISIEC has not violated any provisions in the electoral laws if it relies on the registered voters obtained by the Justice Enebeli-led commission to conduct the August 30 council elections.
If you remember, the Rivers State, the then Rivers State electoral body and INEC were working at cross purpose. Now you have an electoral body that is not working at cross purpose with INEC. INEC has updated their register as at the conduct of the last election. The thing is, it is for INEC to state whether they have updated or they have not updated, because INEC has what you call continuous voters registration at the local government level. So INEC can come out tomorrow and tell you that they have an updated register because people have been registered who clocked 18.
Moving on, a lawyer and former chairman of Okrika local government area, Tamana Williams, has called for peace ahead of the August 30 local government election in Rivers State. In an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka, Williams urged political parties and individuals who may feel dissatisfied with the process or outcome of the election to seek redress through the court rather than taking actions that could threaten the peace of the state.
The election timetable is out. For me, as a citizen of Rivers State, I will not work against the law. I will also advise others to work against the law, knowing that the law provides for adjudication. And the law is ibi remedium. Where there is a right, and that right has been wrong, rather, there must be a remedy. So the summary is that for peace to reign in Rivers State, and for Rivers State to move forward, and to be free from the quagmire we find ourselves, every party must make some sacrifice. So what I will advise, let everybody follow the law. Let there be no self-help. Because at the end of the day, it's what the law says, what the court says becomes the reality, and not what you wish.
In other news, the coordinator of Rivers Peace Initiative, Obinna Egbogidi, says the situation between supporters of the two political leaders in Rivers State is still fragile. Mr. Egbogidi said this while reacting to insinuations that the supporters of the suspended Governor Fubara and the FCT minister may not have fully embraced the reconciliation. He called on the leaders to ensure that their supporters embrace the terms of the reconciliation.
What we have now is more like a fragile truce, but we have made progress. The guns may have gone silent, but governance is still in limbo. You go around town, you see that even the ring road project appears to have been suspended. The governor remains in a constrained position, and the social indicators like the resurgence of court-related violence, worsening sanitation in Port Harcourt, and stifled economic activity show that we are not out of the woods yet. So yes, Rivers State is calm, but calm is not the same as peace.
Also, a public affairs analyst, Ijoma Obi, said the body language of the supporters of the two political leaders showed that the reconciliation is not inclusive.
But there's an aspect of the peace that the both factions are not really taking seriously. You will see the obvious indifference, separation between the factions. Despite FCT minister and the governor meeting and resolving, the supporters have not absorbed that peace. It is essential for the governor and the FCT minister to come back to the state and move from the local government to the local government. Talk to their supporters. If they don't do that, the peace is not completely achieved.
Another public affairs analyst, Obi-Wan Akanwo, also spoke.
There was no theater of war. It was just a cosmetic war that was full metaphorical and imaginary war. What I think the warring parties have decided to lay down their personal interest. I know that the suspended governor is at the receiving end. He has nothing to do other than see him because President Tinubu has not played the role of an independent arbiter in that matter. The governor, by that suspension order, became incapacitated. So at this point, whatever he comes his way, he takes it. He has nothing to ask for.
Have voiced their concern over the demand to solve the flood. Our correspondents, residents said the flood caused by rainfall business. They appealed government intervention.
This water they set me for my market because anytime water falls, they roll me one way for my shop.
Roads were blocked. Most persons they can't even pass. Even the vehicles they find it difficult to go through the road. Even to cross road safe. It's only God that protected. If not, maybe accident.
I said the flood weather has a big well. For now, it's not this small. Why? I fought everybody. But yes.
Still to come, former Kogi Senator Malaye resigns from the PDP. Stay tuned. Back. Former Kogi West Senator Dino Malaye has officially resigned from the People's Democratic Party (PDP). In a letter addressed to his ward chairman, Senator Malaye said his resignation is due to PDP's failure to rescue Nigeria from what he described as the prevalent political cankerworms. Recall that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Senate President David Mark, and publisher Dele Momodu are among those who recently resigned from the PDP. Some students of the Rivers State University, RSU, have raised fears over what they described as recurring attacks in female hostels. Speaking in an interview with our correspondent, the students recounted the recent invasion of Hostel H by hoodlums. They said hoodlums invaded a room at the ground floor of the female hostel from the window and made away with phones. The students accused security officials of constantly harassing students over indecent dressing rather than catching thieves and protecting their properties. Recall that a similar attack happened simultaneously at Hostel C and D, with some female occupants claiming that they were raped. Others at NDDC Hostel said their phones, laptops, and other gadgets were also carted away by the armed hoodlums the same night. The situation sparked a protest on campus against RSU management. The now suspended governor, Siminala Ifubara, visited the institution at the time. Earlier, a concerned parent raised alarm over what he described as recurring armed robbery attacks by hoodlums in hostels at the main campus in River State University, Port Harcourt. Speaking anonymously to our correspondent, the aggrieved father said female hostels are often the main targets, with the latest incident reportedly occurring around 5 a.m. on Monday, July 28th at Hostel H. He revealed that due to the insecurity, he has already replaced his daughter's stolen phone twice this year.
It looks like there's an upsurge again in insecurity within the school environment, especially the hostels. Early this year, my daughter's hostel was raided and she lost phone. And then around April, it happened again. It's not only that hostel, because showing that other hotels have also been touched by some of these hoodlums. Her own particularly had become too rampant because she came home last week because she said she needed to cool off a little bit, so she came back. And then she left on Monday morning, which was yesterday. And then at our 5 a.m. this morning, she called with her voice, shaking. So what is it? That the thieves again came and they are boys. They are young men. They are very hostel again, more than 5 of them. And people lost their valuables.
He also spoke on the emotional and psychological trauma the situation had caused students and appealed to the school management to strengthen campus security to protect the lives and property of the students.
She wanted to leave off campus, and I said, no, for security reasons, I want to leave within the school environment because that was more secure. But unfortunately, it worries her now that how these guys will continually get into the school environment and then continually rob these girls, and then not one person has been caught. That is my concern. And if the school authority will rise up with the occasion, because these guys come and walk away like that, I think they have security. Why can't anybody see that? I've been to that place a couple of times, and I saw that they have lights all around. How can somebody just walk into that place and do these things and then just bolt just like that, disappear? And is it the male students or is it outsiders?
He further claimed that while some hostel officials and school security personnel are aware of the attacks, they have only said investigations are ongoing.
The hostel manager, the woman, she's aware and they say they are doing investigation. One wonder how many investigations would they do because this is not the first. What happened last night, early morning. And also the security person in charge of security, because I know several have visited that place. There is a security post and there is a gate before you pass. So the security man is also aware of the incident and they say they are doing investigation.
The management of the River State University has not reacted, despite efforts by a correspondent to reach out to them. As the Federal University of Environment and Technology in Koroma Atai local government area sets to admit its first cohort of students in September, an environmental rights campaigner, Celestine Akpobari, says the establishment of the university may finally draw long overdue attention to the region's environmental challenges. It comes nearly 6 months after President Bola Tinubu signed into law the bill establishing the institution, originally passed by the National Assembly in March 2022. Akpobari, in an interview with correspondent Martha Okere, said if such an institution had existed earlier, the scale of damage witnessed today might have been avoided.
If you want to destroy a man, you destroy the environment. My long-term expectation would be that the university will cause our people to give attention to the environment. Our research from the institution will help our people to live in a better, finer environment. Who knows whether the university has been around all this while. Maybe the pollution in the Niger Delta may not have happened, or may not, or even if it happened, we will not have taken on the volume that we have. So at least 90% of the people will be environmentally conscious.
Akpobari also cautioned against any attempt to alter the original vision behind the creation of the university. He said the Ogonis will monitor the university to ensure that its curriculum is not politicized.
They did not just wake up one morning to sign up a bill establishing a university. It was well debated on the floor. It means that it was a well thought out bill. And I want to use the opportunity to commend our son, the Tabarin Piggy, for doing us proud. But I know that the bill contains a lot of things that will make our environment a better place. And I know that the government will not tinker with that, because the Ogoni people that are host to the university will not turn their eye the other way. I will not want them to politicize anything that has to do with the university and its curriculum.
Yesterday, President Bola Tinubu appointed the former Commissioner for Education in Rivers State, Professor Chinedu Umom, as Vice-Chancellor of the university. In a statement signed by the President's media aide, Bayo Onanuga, the President also appointed the former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt, Professor Dom Baridem, as the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council, Federal University of Environment and Technology, Koroma. Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, has met with Ghana's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Samuel Ablakwa, to address the recent wave of protests against Nigerians living in Ghana. In a statement shared on her official social media account on Thursday, Ojukwu said the meeting focused on concerns arising from the demonstrations where some Ghanaian citizens accused Nigerians of contributing to rising crime levels in their country. She said the Ghanaian Foreign Affairs Minister assured that the lives, properties, and businesses of Nigeria and Nigerians living in Ghana are safe and protected. She also dismissed any fear of mass deportations of Nigerians living in Ghana. On the international scene, U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, has been holding talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel as he tries to salvage stalling ceasefire efforts and alleviate the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. It comes after Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry said 91 people have been killed while seeking aid in the past day, and 2 people have died of malnutrition. A U.S. doctor in Gaza's Nasser hospital tells the BBC that children are starving and his Palestinian colleagues are gaunt. Earlier, U.S. President Donald Trump says the fastest way to end the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is for Hamas to surrender and release the hostages. On the news this evening, you heard stakeholders have reacted as RISIEC vows to conduct August 30th council elections with latest voter data. Analysts have expressed doubt over the commitment to reconciliation of Rivers' political crisis. Former Kogi Senator Dine Malaye has resigned from the PDP. On the foreign scene, Trump envoy has met with Israel's prime minister over Gaza killings. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I'm Sam Chinedu. Thanks for listening.